We are live. This is Trans Options here with Lindy Engineering for our hydrogen fuel cell model car race challenge. And we are here to ask some questions of our engineer volunteers. So first of all, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Kristen Tomasicchio, Environmental Education Coordinator here at Trans Options. And I've compiled a list of frequently asked questions of our high school students participating this year. And I will send them off to our volunteer engineers. So if you guys wouldn't mind introducing yourselves and talking a little bit about how you got involved in our competition, please.
No problem. I'm Gary Spingarn. This is my second year with the company, Lindy LLC. I started in our metals group that dealt with oxygen applications, a lot of thermo and combustion. Corporate communications came to me one day, and they came to the rest of our group asking about, hey, are you guys into alternative energy? We have this outreach program in Providence High School right on the corner. I've been on projects like these all throughout college. I was involved in the Chemi Car competition, which is pretty much the same rubric, same kind of setup, except it's on a regional and a national level. And I had a bunch of experience, so I thought, shot.
We are live. This is Trans Options here with Lindy.
And then I'm Brent Schultz. I'm also a second year here with Lindy. Previously, I was in our manufacturing group as well as our hydrogen fueling. And currently, I am responsible for the Shell Eco Marathon, which is an event we do with Shell, the oil company, in which they sponsor student groups to produce cars that are big enough for an individual to ride in, and they try to drive around a racetrack using alternative energies, hydrogen, methane, ethanol, LNG, and so we are the hydrogen supplier for that event, and I'm responsible for managing that event, which will be taking place in Detroit this year. And so that's kind of my background was in the hydrogen area. Matt.
My name is Matt Iasagna, and I don't have any of the experiences they have. I did something like this in high school. It was fun, so I figured if I was able to get on the other side of it instead of being on the judging or on the competitive side, get into the judging side, I'll see what I can do. So, welcome.
And I'm Matt Hershkowitz. I'm an application engineer for the industrial applications group that Brent actually used to work in, and Gary is now in. My experience as far as these goes, and specifically with hydrogen, more with automobiles, I've been involved in Formula SAE in college, as well as I've actually worked for one of the big four auto manufacturers as an intern too. So I've been around cars and propulsion and everything like that, engines for a little while.
So sounds like we have a lot of experience in the room. So if you guys wouldn't mind just tackling the questions I G-chatted to you one by one. Doesn't really matter where we start on the list. If you have any particular ones that you wanted to kick it off with, they're just in a random order.
Okay. All right, yeah, we'll just go down the list. I'll just read the question, and then I guess we'll discuss. Okay, question 1. My fuel cell runs the car for half of the length of the track, but doesn't manage to get the car to the finish line. What do I need to do to fix? What do I need to fix to increase the distance that my car travels? Okay. All right. Well, there could be a number of problems. You have to take a look at your car, see what's going on as it's going down the track. Are your wheels slipping? Are you getting the friction? Do you need to check your gear ratio? You might need to do that as well. You got to make sure all your connections are all right. You got to make sure the electrolysis is working. Not all these proton exchange mounting. So, this is it's a test model for a fuel cell. Normally, the bigger models this is a 1 or a 2 stack. Typically, you'll have 10, 20. That goes. I mean, some stacks they don't all come out the same. They degrade. And you might need to switch it out, but I would say first start with your car, really look at what's going on as it's going down the track, make sure you have your wheels oriented the same way, make sure you're not slipping. If you just stay at it, you should find the problem.
Yeah, I would focus maybe on friction. I mean, are your wheels spinning more than they should? Are they getting the power they're creating actually down on the track? Again, gear ratio, make sure maybe you should be changing your gears around, go for a larger or smaller. And then I don't know if they can leak test, but maybe you have a leak somewhere, so some soapy water on some connections, and if you see some bubbles coming up, that means you have a leak. These are pretty low pressure, so I don't think a leak would necessarily be that big of an issue, or you guys probably won't have that issue. That's something you could be looking at.